Um, Today I want to speak to you about something very subtle but extremely important in predictive medical astrology, Vata aggravation in the fifth house. Now you need to understand this properly. When most students look at the fifth house, they immediately think of children, intelligence, mantra shakti, past life merit, creativity, and speculation. All of that is true. But from a deeper health perspective, the fifth house also has a profound connection with the digestive field of the body. The stomach, liver, gallbladder, spleen, pancreas, central abdomen. And along with that, it has a powerful role in memory, creative intelligence, reproductive hormonal regulation, and even the central spinal channel. So this is not a small house when it comes to health. Not at all. And when Vata enters and disturbs this house, the first thing it attacks is order, rhythm, coordination, stability. That is the key word here, instability, because Vata by nature is dry, light, irregular, mobile, and subtle. So when it starts influencing the fifth house in a disturbed way, the person may not initially present with one giant disease label. Instead, what you often observe is a pattern of fluctuation. I have seen in many charts that this becomes the signature. The person says, some days I feel hungry, some days I don't. Some days digestion is okay, some days it is bloated. Sometimes constipation, sometimes loose motions. Sometimes energy is high, then suddenly I crash. Can you appreciate the fact that this is a very Vata type expression? It is not steady, it does not behave in a linear way, it keeps changing. So when Vata increases in the fifth house, one of the first manifestations is irregular appetite. Hunger loses consistency. Digestive fire becomes unreliable. The person may eat well one day and feel weak the next. There may be gas, bloating, abdominal distension, spasmodic pain, and a feeling that food is not being processed smoothly. Absorption can become poor. The body may not extract nourishment properly, so over time you can see weight fluctuation, low stamina after eating, dryness in tissues, and that peculiar feeling of being both full and undernourished at the same time. That combination is very important. You should watch for it. Now let's go deeper. The fifth house also has a strong relationship with the liver pancreatic axis. So when Vata aggravates here, I have often seen erratic blood sugar patterns, sudden energy dips, unstable digestive enzyme response, and irregular bile movement. The person may complain that their body does not respond to meals consistently. One meal feels fine, another meal creates collapse, heaviness, discomfort, or nervous unease. This is where you need to think like a real astrologer, not just a memorizer of house meanings. The fifth house is also the house of memory and creative intelligence. Vata disturbance here can affect not only the gut, but the gut-brain link. And this is where the reading becomes beautiful. You may observe that the native has good intelligence but inconsistent retention. They know the subject but cannot always hold it steadily. Memory may become scattered. Focus may become interrupted. Creative flow comes in bursts rather than continuity. The person may start many ideas, but sustaining them becomes difficult. Why? Because Vata is movement without containment. I have seen this many times. Brilliant charts, genuinely brilliant charts. But when the fifth house is under Vata stress, the intelligence is there, yet the continuity of expression becomes unstable. And now let us go one step further. This house also relates to reproductive hormonal intelligence. So when Vata rises here, especially under affliction, hormonal rhythms may become irregular. In women, this can show up as irregular cycles, fluctuating vitality, unstable reproductive strength, or changing libido. In men also, reproductive steadiness may become compromised, not always through overt disease, but through irregularity, depletion, inconsistency, and nervous exhaustion. That word again, irregularity. If you are understanding this lesson deeply, then you will realize something very important. Vata in the fifth house does not merely create disease, It creates unpredictability in the systems governed by the fifth house. That is the deeper principle. Even the central spine and mid-back region may show signs of Vata influence here. I have seen lower thoracic stiffness, mid-back tension, nervous tightness through the central channel, and a sense that the body cannot relax properly after mental overuse or digestive stress. The native may not always connect these symptoms, but you, as the astrologer, must connect them. You need to see the whole pattern. Digestion becomes irregular, nourishment becomes inconsistent, memory becomes unstable, bones lose rhythm, energy comes in waves, lighter, and the person starts feeling internally ungrounded. And this last point is crucial. Sleep may become lighter. Why? Because once the gut-brain axis becomes unstable, Vata does not stay confined to the abdomen. It rises upward. It begins to affect the nervous system, mental rest, and recovery. So the person may say, I am tired, but I don't rest deeply. That is a very important clue. Now, from a teaching standpoint, I want you to remember this. When you judge the fifth house under Vata influence, do not reduce it to one symptom. Do not say, okay, fifth house means stomach, therefore stomach issue. No, that is too mechanical. Instead, ask, is there irregular appetite? Is there bloating or variable digestion? Is there poor assimilation? Memory becoming scattered? Identity becoming unstable rather than absent? Reproductive rhythms fluctuating? Is sleep becoming lighter? The native showing signs of internal dryness, depletion, and nervous inconsistency? If yes, then you are not just seeing a digestive issue. You are seeing a Vata disturbance expressing through the fifth house intelligence digestion hormone axis. And I have to say this very directly, as many astrologers underestimate how much psychology and digestion are linked through the fifth house. They separate mind from abdomen too quickly. But in real chart work, I have seen again and again that when this house is disturbed, the person's digestion, emotional processing, memory, and creative confidence all begin to wobble together. That is why this house must be read with maturity. So the final takeaway is this. Vata in the fifth house brings irregularity to digestion, instability to memory, fluctuation to hormonal intelligence, and dryness to the body's central processing field. It does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers. But if you know what to look for, the chart tells you very clearly. You just need to slow down enough to hear it.